Hello, this is FurryMurry7, and this is part 2 of my series on the Beginner's Guide to Sorcery in Dark Souls. Now, if you haven't watched part 1 yet, or if you didn't know that there was a part 1, click the annotation right here up in the video description. Now, I am going to start off by telling you that this is a beginner's guide. So I am going to talk to you as if you're a beginner, as if you've never played Dark Souls before. So there will be parts of the guide where I'm going to start explaining things that if you've already played this game, you probably already know them. So I've included all throughout the video helpful annotations that you can click on. Make sure your annotations are turned on. Click those annotations and it'll allow you to skip over to the next part of the video where the action is. So, that is how it is. Now, the last part of the video, we left off by getting the Crimson Robe. We doubled our soul arrows, and we got the tin banishment catalyst, which is a very, very good melee weapon. So if you don't have all those things, you're gonna have to go back and watch the previous video, because I'm not going to show all of that again in this video. So, what we have to do, we noticed that when we put on our armor, it was a little bit too heavy for us. It's slowing down our roll speed, and as a mage, you're not going to have very much health or armor. So speed is very important. The ability to evade your enemies and roll and be mobile, that's the most important thing. So we are going to have to tackle a mini boss named Havel the Rock. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about, keep watching. If you do know what I'm talking about, still keep watching. There's a great way that you can defeat Havel the Rock on the first try without dying. So, let's start. Now, also, there is, if you did watch the previous video, you'll remember that there was an improved version of Soul Arrow that was waiting for us down in New Londa Ruins. It costs 4,000 souls to purchase. I didn't have enough souls at the moment, so we're going to have to, before we get too far away, it's a good idea for us to make sure that we buy that thing. I'm gonna switch to my Tin Banishment Catalyst and get that guy. Now, before I... Holy crap. Okay, that's a pretty big jump. Okay, now, before we continue any further, it's best, while you still have a low amount of souls, to try practice jumping from this ledge. Make sure you clear out all these enemies first. If you look all the way over there, all the way there in the corner, there's an item. The only way to get to that item is to jump over this gap. Now, if you already know how to jump, go ahead and do it. If you don't know, or if you're not very good at it, the best place to practice is right around... I'm gonna move the character all the way over here, far away from the edge of the cliff, where you don't have to worry about dying. Now, this game doesn't really have a dedicated jump button. However, you can do kind of like a rolling jump to get over very small gaps. To do this, first you have to be sprinting. If you don't know how to sprint, you have to hold down the B button while you're moving. So make sure you're running, and then while you're running, let go and then tap the B button again, and that'll do a jump, just like that. Practice that. Try getting good at that. Make sure you practice jumping. Try to pick an area of land that you want to jump over, and try to see if you can jump over that. If you want, you could try practicing jumping over that ledge, but it's going to get very annoying trying to jump over that ledge 20 times, and you keep dying. So I suggest that you practice on something easy, and then once you think you're good enough at it, try jumping over the ledge. So I'm going to try jumping right now. Oh, damn it! I almost made it, too. In fact, I practically did make it. I don't know why it slipped off. It's because you could hear the character land. Anyway, I'm going to try that again. That did not work out as I planned. I didn't really want that to happen. Remember, to use the Tin Banishment Catalyst as a melee weapon, you press the right trigger. Make sure you have your shield up. Perfect. Now, we're gonna try that again. Okay. That's what I was supposed to do. I think I was aiming too far out. Okay, once you get here, you're gonna have to very, very, very carefully go over this ledges. Try to be running in toward the middle as much as you can. Ring of Sacrifice. That Ring of Sacrifice actually will come in handy later on at a later part. Probably not in this video, but it will come in handy. Now, jump back. Perfect. Now, we will continue. When I acquire enough souls, I'm going to go purchase that that heavy soul arrow. Soul of Lost Undead. Okay, make sure you get that. Don't use the soul yet. I suppose maybe you can if you want, but what the hell happened to the rats? Okay. But it's recommended that, I would recommend that you don't use them so that you don't risk losing them if you die. We'll use them soon enough. Remember to lock on enemies before you try to... cast the spell. Okay. That. Now, before we go in there, there's one more thing. Well, actually, a couple more things we're gonna get. Clear out this stuff. And drop down here. We're gonna get this large soul of Lost Undead. Drop down here. I think there's somebody waiting for us. Yep, there they are. Hello. There we are. Something over here? Nope. Okay. There's some more waiting for you. Waiting to ambush you. Perfect. Alright. We're gonna get rubbish. Doesn't really do anything. Okay. We forgot to get something, didn't we? We'll get it later. Let's go up here first. Yeah, we forgot to get that item. Let's, what the heck are you doing here? Oh, we'll get you later. Go over and get this item here. Humanity. Don't use the humanities yet. You don't need them. We're going to save those for kindling the next bonfire. Bonfire. Okay. I'll go down this way. I don't want to risk losing too much health. We're supposed to go up here. Okay. Get that, and then that's how you get this item. When I first played this game, I was running around for hours trying to figure out how to get this item. I didn't know there was I didn't know there was a passageway right here. I walked right past it the whole time. Okay. Oh my god, now we have to go through all that thing all over again. Okay, perfect. We're eventually also going to get a better shield. This shield, as you can see, I'm trying to block with it, and sometimes they hit through the shield. I'll make sure that there's nothing valuable in here. I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything valuable. Nope. Just a bunch of stuff. Okay, we're gonna traverse the red light. Perfect. There's nothing over there. Don't waste your time trying to jump across. It doesn't happen. I tried for like an hour and a half to jump across that thing. The dragon. We're going to be killing that very soon. But don't worry about the dragon for now. Just keep playing. Okay, now here is another opportunity to trade shots with an archer. The archers can be a little annoying. Especially this one. Because it's difficult to hit him with a... It can be difficult to... Oh, we get him? Do we get him? Oh, dang it. I'm gonna have to go up there. Okay. Perfect. Now, if you don't know about this, there's a merchant over here. We're gonna kill these guys first. Okay. I should have switched to my sorcerers. The sorcerer's catalyst actually does more magic damage than the tin banishment. That is to keep in mind. I keep forgetting to switch. There's actually a guy right here. You should kill him. There we are. Now. This is a merchant.
Well, you seem to have your... Then you are trade.
I'm not going to go through all of his dialogue. So he sells a lot of stuff. Now, make sure you remember where this guy is. I'm not going to purchase it right now, but you need to remember to later on purchase this residence key. Because you need it to get your other high-level spells. You're definitely going to need the residence key. It is not an option. And another thing you're going to want is a much better shield. Heater shield. I recommend the heater shield. Heater shield is much better than the shield you have. It is heavier, but that's okay, because that's why we're fighting Havel the Rock. So, heater shield and residence key. Get them. So, I wonder if I should get him now. I don't think I should. I don't think I should get him now.
What?
But, for now, we're going to... While we're here, we might as well go over here. There is an item over here, so... Let's get it while we're here. I think we need it for anything, but let's get it. I don't remember what that item was. Ten throwing knives. Throwing knives are okay. You won't be using that many throwing knives. The reason why is because the damage that the throwing knives do is based off of a stat that you won't be putting any points into. Same thing with the firebombs. Although, at this point, the firebombs will help a little bit. The firebombs is based off of strength. And if I'm not mistaken, throwing knives, I'm not sure what stat the throwing knives based off of, but, let's get the wooden shield. No, we can't get this wooden shield. There we can. There we can. We get wooden shield. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do wooden shield. That's a little bit better. Now, what I'm going to do before we try facing off against Havel, what you need to do is you need to light this bonfire and then kindle it. Now, you will notice that if I rest at this bonfire, my Estus flasks do not recharge up to 10. The reason why is because, other than the Firelink Shrine bonfire, pretty much all the other bonfires are unkindled. You need to kindle them yourself. The bonfire in Firelink Shrine is kindled by a weird lady who lives under it. This bonfire is not being kindled by anyone. You need to supply humanity yourself to feed this bonfire. So the way you have to do it is, you're gonna have to browse and use items. Then you're gonna have to go to humanity and use it. You'll notice, after you use the humanity, you'll notice that the number in the top left corner of your screen changes from a 0 to a 1. This lets you know that you have one humanity inside you, the one you're carrying. Keep in mind that this is different from the humanity that's in your inventory screen when you open up your inventory. This is the number of humanity that you have used and you're currently, like, living on. Don't know. It's difficult to describe, but basically, once you have that, rest at the bonfire again. You can't do the kindle option just yet because you can't kindle while hollowed. So what you have to do is you have to reverse hollowing and revive to human. Keep in mind that once you do this, you will be open to invasion because you have not killed the area boss. Which basically means that other people can invade your world and they will try to kill you. And if you're a new player that really don't know anything about the game, I take it from me that can get annoying after a while, getting killed all the time. So just keep that in mind. It's just a friendly warning. So you have to reverse hollowing. Bam! Revive to human, and I'm beautiful again. So, now that we do that, you can't kindle just yet. I know it sounds like a lot of steps, but if you try to kindle, it'll tell you that you have no humanity. You need at least one humanity to kindle the bonfire. That's why I tell you to keep all of your humanities, because, generally speaking, it's usually going to cost you at least 2 humanities. 1 to make yourself human, and 1 to kindle. So, go to browse and use items, go down to humanity, use item. Now, I can sit back down and kindle the bonfire. When I do that, my Estus flasks will return right back to 10. BAM! So now, from this point on, every time I sit down at this bonfire, my Estus flasks will refill all the way up to 10. Perfect. Now that that is done, what we are going to do is, I'm going to see if I have enough money to buy that spell and the residence key and the shield and everything else that I wanted to buy. Now notice that it's taking me kind of a long time to consume all these souls. What you can do instead is you can actually assign these to your hot button so that you can use them a lot more quickly. What you have to do is go to your start button, go to change equipment. Over to your right hand side, next to the gray picture of the Estus flask, that indicates your usable items. All of the things in these 5 slots are usable items. Now you can see that the Soul of a Lost Undead is already equipped, but if it were not equipped, I could go to that slot, or I could go to a different slot that doesn't have anything in it, and I can scroll up to basically whatever item I want to use. For me, I'm just going to pick Soul of a Lost Undead. Once that's in there, I can press the down button on my D-pad to scroll until I get to Soul of a Lost Undead. I can press the X button to use it. Now I can use the souls a lot faster. See, it's a lot faster than it was before. Perfect. Let's use those other souls as well. I only have 1 of each of them, so I'm not going to assign them from my hotkey. I'm simply going to use them directly from my menu. 800. How much do I get for this? 1,000. That's a lot. Okay, now, not really, but for right now, it's a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and get that spell because we need it. It's essential to get the higher level soul arrow spells. The enemy drank an Estus flask. You'll notice that enemies can drink Estus flasks just like you. So, keep that in mind. Now remember, when you lock on into an enemy, you can switch the enemy that you're locking on to by pressing the right analog stick. Press the right analog stick in a particular direction, in the direction of another enemy, and it will automatically switch to that enemy. Now, you as a spellcaster, this is an amazing ability. Do not underestimate the power of switching your targets. The way it works for you as a mage is that as soon as an enemy is killed, the reticle will automatically target the nearest enemy. However, it doesn't do that as fast as it could. If you manually switch, for example, if I were to cast a soul arrow at this enemy, while the soul arrow is still in the air aiming at him, I can switch my switch to the other target while that's still happening and cast another soul arrow at the other enemy so that I can attack a lot faster. I'll do it now. It didn't happen the way I wanted it. I'll do that with these guys. Here, I'll show you. So I'm going to press the button, and after I press it, I'm immediately going to switch to the next enemy. Perfect. Bam. Don't underestimate that. Let's go. We need to get that heavy soul arrow. It is a must. We must have it. I'm going to switch to my tin banishment for this guy. There we are. Alright. Let's go. rat. Sometimes the rats drop humanity, so be mindful of that. Oh, here's this guy. Here's an amazing trick that only you as a mage can accomplish. Attacking an enemy that is directly below you from high up on a ledge. Now. So basically, get up as close to the edge as you can. And then you're going to attack. We're going to do it with this guy because he's not going to move anywhere. First thing you need to do is target him. You need to get close enough to target. I don't want him spoiling my fun. Kill him. Okay, now that he's dead, I'm going to go up as close as I can. Target. Oh, I had it. What the hell? Losing the target. There I am. Now, get up as close to the edge as I can, and fire the soul arrow. Bam! See, it hit him. Right below me. This is an amazing trick for, there are actually multiple places in the game where you can kill entire bosses and mini-bosses where you are safely up on a ledge where they can't get to you, and you attack, and the soul arrow goes straight down and hits them. There are actually a lot of places that do exactly that. So keep an eye out for those opportunities. If you're high up on a ledge, try to lock onto that enemy and try to see if you can shoot them directly from the ledge. I think archers can do that too, but I don't care about archers. Okay. For good measure, I'm going to briefly rest at this bonfire. And now, I need to get that heavy soul arrow. The reason why this heavy soul arrow is so important is because, as you can imagine, some enemies actually require more than one hit to kill. And basically, your goal is to kill an enemy in as few hits as possible. If you can one-shot kill, most enemies, that's fine. But there are some enemies that are a lot stronger. And there's actually an enemy coming up, even before we get to Havel, that we're gonna need as much fire and power as we can get. So, that's why it's important to take this time out to go back down and get this heavy soul arrow. I'm gonna take the shortcut and drop down. Take a little bit of damage, it's fine. Okay. If you want, you can kill these guys. But I'm not going to do that. Okay. Talk to this guy. Buy the heavy soul arrow. Purchase for 4,000 souls. We already have a sorcerer's catalyst, so we're not going to buy that.
Come back soon. Smithing helps soothe my nerves.
Alright. Now, if you remember what I said from the last video, or if you just didn't watch the last video, you'll remember that you cannot use a spell immediately after you buy it, because you need to equip it first. Now, the word in this game they use for equipping a spell, they call it attuning a spell. That's what you have to do. So we have to go back to our bonfire and attune this thing. Attune magic. I'm not going to go show you how to attune magic, because I already showed you how to do that in my last video. Here we are. Now, are we able to use it? Yes, we are. So we have 12 casts for Heavy Soul Arrow, which is actually considerably a lot less than 60. A lot less. part of the reason why is because it does so much damage. Try it out on this first enemy. Target him and cast. 175 damage. Bam. That's a lot of damage. Well, not really. It may seem like a lot of damage, but the fire and power that we're looking to get is a lot more powerful than that. I'm gonna switch to my tin banishment and finish this guy. Alright. Whenever they get too close to you, it's a good idea to switch to the tin banishment. You'll notice that Heavy Soul Arrow has a cast time that's almost double that of Soul Arrow. Part of the reason why is because it's so much more powerful than Soul Arrow. And so that's why the cast time is so long. Alright. This is fun. Okay. I'm gonna see if the rat drops a humanity. It's not dropping one. Okay. That's fine. You don't need a humanity. If you're really sneaky, you can, what you can do is, you can actually press the cast button before you lock onto the enemy. You can actually do that, if you have really good reflexes. You can do that. Press the Soul Arrow button, and then lock on immediately after you do that, and it will still hit the enemy. Let me drink a Estus, just in case something happens. Now, looks like we have enough money to buy that shield that we wanted to buy. Oh my god. Seriously? For real? Okay, there we are. I'm gonna drink an Estus. Oh my god, he drank an Estus too. What a coincidence. There we are. Did he drop something? Not sure. Always check to see if an enemy drops something. Because you never know when you're going to need it later. Oh, he dropped something. It's just a hollow soldier waistcloth. That's not going to do us very much good. You can try to put that armor on if you want, but you're going to discover that it's actually worse than what you're wearing right now. So, that's how that works. There we are. Now, what you should try doing is to try taking your hand off the trigger and off of the bumpers. That way you don't accidentally hit this guy. If you kill him, you won't be able to buy anything from him. Obviously. So don't kill him. Don't accidentally hit him, because if you hit him, he will attack you. And this guy is actually kind of tough. So, let's purchase an item. We're gonna buy the residence key. Bam. There we are. And we also need to buy the heater shield, because I said so. I think this is a very good time for me to explain shields to you, because I haven't done so yet. Let's go to the bonfire first. Then I'll explain how the shields work. And, in that case, I think I'm also going to explain weapons and scaling. So, we're gonna equip this shield. Now, if you already know everything about shields and scaling and all of that stuff, you can skip over this part of the video. But for those of you who don't already know, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about these subjects so that you will become an expert. Start with the Tin Banishment Catalyst. Now, if you look at the Tin Banishment Catalyst, where is it? Here it is. And then you press X, toggle display. You'll see a whole bunch of numbers and letters and a whole bunch of stuff comes up, and this may look very confusing and daunting and overwhelming at first. But I'm going to break this down to you. Now, every weapon has a stat called Magic Adjust. Now, for some weapons, this is a hidden stat. You can't actually see what the weapon's Magic Adjust stat is in the in this menu. But for other weapons like catalysts, talismans, and pyro gloves, the Magic Adjust is listed right as the first thing. Now, Magic Adjust is basically a number that goes into a secret formula that calculates how much damage you will do with a spell. Now, obviously, the damage that you do will be different depending on what spell you're using, and also will be different depending on your Magic Adjust. But the Magic Adjust is actually based on your intellect. The higher your intellect, the higher this Magic Adjust rating will go. However, you will experience diminishing returns. I talked about diminishing returns in the last video. Which means basically that if I were to increase my intelligence from 15 to 16, then these weapons would get a considerable boost in the Magic Adjust rating. However, if my intelligence were already at level 45, and I increased it up to level 46, the boost that I would get to Magic Adjust would be so small that it might not even be noticeable, or it might not even show up on this screen. That is diminishing returns. The lower my stat, the bigger of an impact it will have when I increase that stat by 1 point. Now, when you look at right above the Magic Adjust, it says attack, and then it says strike in parentheses. For the Tin Banishment Catalyst, it says thrust in parentheses. Every weapon has a... In fact, this will appear for every weapon, and this even appears for shields. Every weapon, and shields are basically counted as weapons in this game. Every weapon has a main type of attack that it uses when it's used as a melee weapon. That includes weapons that are melee weapons, and it also includes weapons that are not considered to be conventional melee weapons, like shields, or catalysts, or talismans, or things like that. There are different types of attack types. The most seems like the most common type is strike, but there are other types like thrust, and I think I saw another one in here. Regular as well. There are certain... the reason why this is important is because it will affect how your weapon is swung when you swing the weapon, and it will also affect the kind of damage that it does to the opponent. Some armors are more resistant to strike damage. Some are more resistant to thrust damage or regular damage. So keep that in mind. For you as a mage, this attack type is not going to affect you very much at all, because you're not using your catalysts as a melee weapon, you're using them to cast soul arrows. So you don't need to pay any attention to that whatsoever. So I probably just wasted my time telling you about that. But just in case you wanted to know about it, there it is. Right under the Magic Adjust, you have Physical, Magic, Fire, Lightning, Critical. Those things basically are basically what those things are is every weapon. Now this mostly counts if you're using this as a melee weapon. Again, in fact, all of those things basically physical, magic, fire, lightning, critical. This only applies if you're using it as a melee weapon. This basically just says how much damage the weapon does. In addition to its regular physical damage, it can do additional damage like fire, magic, or lightning damage. For example, you can have a sword that is imbued with fire. So in addition to doing regular physical damage, it will also do fire damage. Or you can have like this Morningstar mace. If I were to imbue this mace with lightning damage or magic damage, in addition to doing the regular melee damage, it would also do the elemental damage as well. Critical just indicates the chance of performing a critical strike. Now, parameter bonus. That's what you have next down there. Parameter bonus is basically indicates the weapon scaling. Every weapon, most weapons, I'm not going to say every weapon, most weapons scale with a particular stat. Now, if you already know what that means, you can just skip over this part of the video and ignore it. But if you don't really know what that means, there are a lot of weapons that actually scale with more than one stat. And when a weapon scales with a stat, that basically means that weapon is tied to that stat, so that when I increase a point in that stat, then the damage that this weapon does will increase. If we go to... let's look at something. Sorcerer's Catalyst. That's a good one. So for the Sorcerer's Catalyst, the parameter bonus, those little 4 symbols right underneath parameter bonus are Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, and Faith, in that order. If you forget what they are, you can look over to the right-hand side of the screen, and you can see it yourself. The parameter bonus is basically... each of the 4 stats is rated A, B, C, D, and E. I guess they forgot about F. But they're rated A, B, C, D, and E, with A being the best and E being the worst. Now, for example, for Sorcerer's Catalyst, in parameter bonus, Intelligence has a rating of A, and Strength has a rating of E, which means that when I put a point in Intelligence, the damage that this weapon does is increased a lot more than if I were to put a point in Strength. The E rating that Strength has for this weapon indicates that trying to increase the power of this weapon by putting points in Strength is probably not a good idea. I might be wasting my time and my experience points and everything by putting points in Strength. My best bet is, if I want to get the most damage out of this thing as I can, is to put my points into the stat that has the highest rating for that weapon. And for Sorcerer's Catalyst, that's an A. Part of the reason why some weapons scale with 2 stats instead of just 1 is because those weapons can be used in more than one way. It's for Sorcerer's Catalyst, and even for Tin Banishment Catalyst. These weapons can be used, you can use it either to cast spells, or you can choose to use it as a melee weapon. And so because you can use it in those 2 different ways, that's why you have 2 different stats that scale with it, depending on how you use the weapon. There are some shields, not these shields, other types of shields. There are other types of shields that I currently don't have right now, that have an attack that goes with them. For example, you can shield smash, you can ram your shield into somebody, and the damage that does is dependent on a particular stat. And so, if I were to use my shield as a melee weapon, which is usually never a good idea, your best bet is to use a weapon as a weapon, instead of a shield. If you want to use a shield, you can go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. As you can see, these shields all have a rating of D in the strength stat. So it would not be a very good idea to try to use these shields as melee weapons. But that's the thing you need to know about parameter bonus. Auxiliary effects. That's the one. That's the next one. Auxiliary effects are a little bit like the additional damage that we talked about earlier. Magic, fire, lightning. Auxiliary effects are things like divine, occult, things like that. There are certain ways you can upgrade your weapon so that your weapon will do more damage to certain types of enemies. For example, divine and occult weapons respectively do more damage to certain types of enemies. You don't need to worry about auxiliary effects, because for the most part, all of those things are only those are for melee fighters only. So you don't really need to worry about that. And anyway, you won't be able to acquire those types of weapons at this point, because it's going to require you to go to, giant blacksmith and make the weapons. You need to get the necessary embers and all that stuff. It's terrible. Okay, the next stat, if we go over to the right-hand pane, is called damage reduction percent. Damage reduction percent that's actually like the opposite of the left-hand side. The left-hand side is used for when you're using this as a melee weapon. The right-hand side is when you're using this weapon to block incoming attacks. Now, you can block attacks pretty much with anything in this slot. Anything in this weapon slot. Shields, catalysts, axes, anything. You can equip in your left hand and hold down the RB button and bam, you're blocking. Now, obviously, blocking with a shield is going to be a lot better than trying to block with a weapon. If you want to dual-hand your weapons, you can do that. But you're not going to be able to reduce very much damage that way. Shields are the best bet to go when you want to reduce damage. And this is what we are going to be doing. The damage reduction percent, basically all of those things, physical, magic, fire, lightning, those things are actually percentages. Percentages of damage that is reduced when you block with the weapon. What you want to do is try to get a weapon with 100% physical damage reduction. And that is the heater shield. We're going to equip it right now, actually, before I forget. Because I'm going to forget. Equip. Yay, we got heater shield. Now, let's go back. Now, so damage reduction percent. You're going to want a shield with 100 physical damage reduction. So at the physical stat, it should say 100. Right here, like right here with the heater shield. Magic, fire, and lightning are not as important as physical for you. They're kind of important because some enemies shoot magic, and some enemies, breathe fire and stuff like that. The most common type of damage is physical damage. That's what most enemies use in this game. They all use, swords, axes, maces, things like that, and all of those things deal physical damage. Lightning damage is rare. There aren't very many places in the game where enemies shoot lightning at you. There are very few of them. It's usually not worth trying to increase your resistance to lightning unless you're about to enter an area where a lot of enemies shoot lightning, like Sen's Fortress, for example. They inflict lightning damage. Underneath that, still in the damage reduction percent column, is stability. If you plan on using your shield to block attacks, which is what you will be doing, you're going to want a shield with as high amount of a stability as possible. Stability is basically the stat that governs whether or not the shield will be able to fully block an attack, or whether the attack will go straight through the shield and hit you. Basically, shields with lower stability. Remember those times back there when I was fighting the enemies and I had my shield up and they attacked, but my shield was knocked out of the way? That's because my shield did not have a very high amount of stability. Stability helps with that. So make sure you do that. Required parameters. Required parameters is right below that. The required parameters is basically, it sounds self-explanatory. It's a little tricky, but these are the stats that you need to have in order to wield the weapon correctly. You can wield any weapon. You can place any weapon in your left hand or right hand slot. Even if you don't have enough. Even if you don't have high enough stats to wield it correctly. Now, if you do that, let me try to see if I can find something with... Oh, I don't. Man, I'm good at this game. I don't have anything that I don't meet the requirements of. Okay, well, if I did, then when I tried to wield the weapon... oh, here's one. Battle axe. Here's one. I found one. So I'm gonna equip the battle axe. So you can see that the required parameters is 12 strength, and it's shown in red, which means I don't have that. I don't have 12 strength. So I'm going to equip it anyway. And it says insufficient strength to wield this weapon with one hand. Hold with both hands to use effectively. That is a lie. You cannot use the weapon effectively, even if you use the weapon with both hands, because the damage that you do with the weapon will be cut in half. Basically, the damage that you would have done with holding it in one hand, that is now the damage that you will do holding it with two hands. So, here's my battle axe, and as you can see, there's a red X right there. And if I try to swing the weapon, whoops, accidentally. Okay, when I try to swing the weapon, blam, like that. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay. Which, opens me up for attack, and that's not a good situation. So, if I wanted to use this weapon, I would press the Y button to hold it with two hands. Now I can swing why do I keep pressing the X button? Okay, now I can swing the weapon normally. That. See? Like that. Now, when I do this, normally, if you do meet all of the required stats of a melee weapon, when you swing the weapon with one hand, you will do normal damage. If you swing the weapon with two hands, you will do double damage. I think, is it double or is it 50% more? I can't remember. I can't remember if it's double or 50% more. One of you that's watching this, you'll have to correct me on this, if it's double or 50%. I don't remember. But that is how it works. Now, God, drink that damn Estus flask. Okay, so press the weapon button, and now I can swing it without, all of those shenanigans. So, that is what that means. Required parameters. Spells have required parameters as well. You need a certain amount of intelligence to cast certain spells. Now, this actually is true for spell. You actually are unable to cast it if you don't have enough intelligence. It's not that you'll do some sort of silly dance, it's that you actually can't. You cannot do it. I'm gonna unequip the battle axe and do the tin banishment catalyst. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Durability. Durability only applies if you're using it as if you're meleeing the weapon, if you're using the weapon as a melee weapon, or durability is also lost for shields when you block attacks. Let's see here. Oh, I got 199 out of 200 for my small leather shield. When the item's durability goes down to 0, you it's going to be bad. You're going to need to repair it. So, you mostly don't have to worry about your durability running out for your weapons because you're casting spells. Casting spells from weapons does not decrease the weapon's durability. However, the Tin Banishment Catalyst, since you are using that as a melee weapon some of the time, then your durability is going to slowly start to decrease. I'm at 156 out of 160. So I've lost 4 points. Oh my god. That's a lot. No, it's not. It's not a lot. I have 156 more points to go before I actually have to repair it. Which is a lot, by the way. So, that is that. Final thing, last but not least, is the weight. The weight of the item, is... I think... I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this is supposed to be representative of kilograms. So, I'm not sure. I don't know for sure. But I think this is kilograms. But anyway, it weighs 3. I don't know how many that is, but I don't know how much that is, but it weighs 3. The Tin Banishment Catalyst weighs 3.0 weight. I'll just use weight as the unit of measurement. It weighs 3 weights. So the weight actually contributes to your equip burden. If you remember from the last video, or if you don't remember because you skipped over that part, your maximum equip load is shown when you scroll over to the view stats screen, and there is your equip load. I have a maximum of 48. However, I need to stay below 25% of my max equip load if I want to move as fast as I want to move. So, right now I'm at 15.8, which is monstrously high because it's inhibiting my movement. I'm rolling slower, and I'm not running as fast. My movement isn't that slow, but I need it to be... I need my speed to be faster in order to do what we're going to do. So, all of the things contribute to equip load. Now, nice thing about equip load. Your equip load is only affected by weapons and armor. None of this other stuff contributes to your equip load. Your usable items, right here, do not contribute to equip load. The arrows contribute to equip load? I'm not sure. The rings also do not contribute to your equip load. They don't make you heavier when you wear them. So, but everything else, weapons and armor, all contributes to equip load. Obviously, you are going to want to wear light armor because you need the speed. You cannot survive, especially against some of these bosses, if you are too slow. You're going to take damage, and since you have no HP to begin with, you're going to get one shot killed a lot if you don't have the speed to evade. Speed is going to be your top priority at this point. And that's why we're going to kill Havel the Rock. So, now that we've done all that, and I've wasted so many of my Estus Flasks by accidentally pressing the X button, we're going to start. Havel the Rock is very close at hand. We're going to kill these guys because I don't like them. Okay. Now, before you go across this bridge, you're gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna ignore all of this stuff on the ground at the moment because I'm really... How am I doing for time? Like an hour? Okay, cool. So, you gotta run past these things. Now, you do not want to get hit by these things. I'm gonna switch my Tin Banishment because there's enemies waiting for me across this bridge. I'm gonna run. Keep your shield held up while you run, so that you don't accidentally. Now, keep moving. Keep circling around these guys. Otherwise they're gonna hit you. And keep your shield up the entire time. It's a good idea to wait until they hit your shield, and then attack them. Perfect. I'm gonna drink an Estus flask. You are not able to go through this gate at the moment. You will eventually. Alright. Perfect. I think there's something in here, isn't there? Yep, chest. Black firebomb. Which is really not going to be able to do us very much good. A little bit, but at the moment, but as we get higher spells, we really won't need any firebombs. Perfect. Now, we are going to go up and kill those pesky firebomb guys that keep throwing firebombs at you. I'm going to switch to my sorcerers. And, kill these guys. Oh, they dropped something. Hopefully they drop more firebombs. Soul of Lost Undead. That will come in handy, but I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm going to wait. Let's go in here. Use residence key. I think you can also use the master key for this thing. Oh my god, look at all those enemies over there. Let's get them while we still can. Perfect. I think we can get those ones too. Can we lock onto that guy? We can, but we'll wait for later. Open the chest first. Gold pine resin. That's something we'll never use. Okay, and then we're going to... Let's go the other way. Just in case that guy decides to pop out of there. We're gonna go up here first. There's actually an archer waiting for us up here. So keep your shield up. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, it would be really cool to snipe people with soul arrows from up here, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to lock on them in order for that to happen. And I hate how the lock distance is so short. It may seem like the lock distance is pretty long, but once you play, you'll realize that it's actually fairly short. Is somebody coming down for us? No. He's not. Now, if you go down here, there's gonna be a guy waiting down there. I think, right? There he is. Don't attack him just yet. First, here. And there's a guy with a barrel. He's gonna roll it down at you as soon as you start going up, so. Okay. There we are. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. A little bit of a problem. Okay. It's all fixed now. And just in case you're wondering, I killed that guy. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to go down. Remember I said get those heavy soul arrows? We're going to hit that guy. Now, we only get one free shot at this. So, make sure you don't blow it. Get as close as you can to him until you can lock on. I should say you should get as far away as you can and still lock on. And now, do the heavy soul arrow. Now, keep moving backwards. Move backwards. You do not want this guy to hit you. And just do soul arrows. Don't do the heavy soul arrows because... Roll out of the way when he tries to swing at you. Oh my god. Okay, perfect. Titanite chunk. Make sure you roll out of the way when he tries to swing at you. Keep your distance at all costs. You need to keep your distance. Don't let him hit you. He will kill you in 1 or 2 shots if he gets the chance. So, don't give him that chance. Now that he's taken care of, we can go over here and get what he was guarding. The ring. Blue tear stone. You can equip it if you like. Go to your ring slot and do that blue tear stone ring. Don't equip the ring of sacrifice. You don't need it just yet. Now, here is where the rubber meets the road. You are going to enter the domain of Havel the Rock. So, here's a few important points to remember. Always keep your distance. That's the most important part. You can't let him hit you, because this guy will kill you in 1 hit if he gets the chance. Before we go through the door, what we're going to do is we're going to change equipment. We're going to make sure that the black firebomb and the firebomb is equipped. You really don't need very many firebombs, because you have your soul arrows. You got 22 of them. So, you're just fine. If you want to go back and restock on soul arrows, if you want to go back and restock on soul arrows back to the bonfire, after the fight with that guy, you can do that. You don't need to, but you can. Now, go down the stairs. Havel the Rock is way at the bottom of this thing. Nope, not right there. He's down the next one. Now, here's the thing. As soon as you're able to see Havel the Rock, he's going to start running at you. You need to lead him up to the top of this tower and outside. Back to where that guy that was rolling that fire boulder at you. You're going to lead him out. Now, you can't run too fast, otherwise he'll lose you. So, you need to make sure he's still chasing you outside. So, we're going to make sure that Black Firebomb is equipped. We'll get his attention. Hello, Havel. Make sure you can hear him. There he is. He's following you. He runs surprisingly fast. There he is. Alright, come on, keep running. Keep following. Is he still following? There he is. See, now he's kind of backing out. Cast a heavy soul arrow at him. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to go in. When he starts to go down the stairs, go in and lure him out. When he starts backing up, try to go in and lure him out again. I don't know how he knows, but somehow he knows when you enter, and when you're in and when you're not in. Now, you can throw firebombs at him with the X button if you like. Alright, so, get his attention again. God. He just evades. He's very slow. Go in, get his attention. Now this may seem boring after a while. You may be tempted to run in after him and try to tackle him head on. Don't do that. It's highly imperative that you not try to melee dance with this guy, okay? He will kill you in 1 hit. He looks really powerful. That's because he is. He is really powerful. Don't try to melee this guy. I'm starting to run out of soul arrows, but that's okay. I think I have enough. fire bombs and... I still got my heavy soul arrows. Come on. Alright, 63 damage for that. Eight damage? Oh, that's not very much. Oh, that's because he was blocking during that time. Alright, perfect. When he backs up into the castle, he won't be... Oh, I'm out of soul arrows. I'm gonna have to use my heavies. Heavy hitters. I'm almost out of fireballs, too. God. Well, I still got regular firebombs. That's fine. Immediately after he swings at you, charge up your heavy soul arrow. He's almost dead. Where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Come on. What the heck? He's supposed to chase me. Come on, chase me. Okay, there he is. There he goes. He's two-handing his weapon. There we are. He went to the side. Oh, I got 3 firebombs and 1 heavy soul arrow, but I can beat him. I can beat him. Yay! He's dead. Now we're gonna pick up the item. Havel's ring. And now, the moment of truth. The moment we've all been waiting for. Go to your empty ring slot, equip Havel's ring. Boosts maximum equipment load. So for the ring, 48. After the ring, we have 72. That's an extremely large boost. So now we are able to do our movements a lot faster. We can run around a lot faster and roll a lot faster. And so we can equip everything else now with pride. We're going to do Mask of the Sealer, because that's better than Sorcerer Hat, right? Yeah, better. Mask of the Sealer and everything you want with the heater shield and everything. And everything, it enables us to wear our entire outfit without compensating for entire outfit without having to sacrifice any speed. So now that we're done with that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching this video. Next, we're gonna have to tackle the area boss. It would be easiest if you used these summon signs to summon other people in your world to help you fight the boss. But that wouldn't be a very good video, would it? So, I'm going to show you how to do this boss solo, without any help. So, that's what we're going to do. First of all, first things first, I'm going to replenish on all of my spells and firebombs and such. Make sure that you have the heavy soul arrow before you continue with the boss. And also make sure you watch my next video, because I'm not going to do the boss in this video, because this video is already over an hour long. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure that you please like and subscribe. I will have the next video uploaded probably hopefully tomorrow, or within the next couple of days. Or the next day. I'll try to do it tomorrow. I don't know. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure that you please like and subscribe, and make sure you watch my next video. Thank you very much. This video is part of TGN's Way movement, a career path in video. For more info, check out my channel, or go to tgn.tv.